My name is Vikram Vuppala. I'm the founder and CEO of NephroPlus. I'm based out of Hyderabad. The current state is quite gloomy actually. The fact of the matter is India has 10 lakh patients who require dialysis on a regular basis, but only 1 lakh of them currently can actually afford or access dialysis in India. And the reason is dialysis is a very chronic uh, treatment where every other day, 3 times a week, you need to get your blood purified, and typically the cost varies from about 3 to 2500 to 3000 in Delhi to, if you look at other parts in South India, it could cost up to even 1300. But whether it's 1300 or 2500, the fact of the matter is every other day, if a patient has to pay out of pocket, dialysis is a very expensive chronic treatment, and that's why 90% of the patients in India are dying today. So the good news is that there is early signs of action from the various stakeholders in the ecosystem to improve the scenario. For example, the government has recently come up with National Health Mission, as part of which the central government is funding the various state-driven or state-implemented PPP programs, wherein 20 of the 29 states are coming up with dialysis PPP projects. So the way this works is the government hospitals, district hospitals in the states can offer space to the private service provider, and the private service provider goes through a bidding process to secure a contract. The central government would fund the state government on a per treatment basis. Let's say the per treatment cost is 1300 rupees. The central government looks at the number of treatments done by that state under this project. Central government funds the state government pays to the service provider. The important thing to note here is throughout the world, dialysis is reimbursed by the governments. In India, unfortunately, when the patients have to pay out of pocket, that's when the access goes out of control. That's when patients are saying, should I actually get this treatment, or should I not be a burden on the family and die? And 90% of the patients today are dying. But with this PPP program, when it's offered free of cost to the below poverty line patients, that's going to save thousands and thousands of dialysis patients across the country. And if you look at other stakeholders, the private insurance companies are starting to reimburse for dialysis care. If you look at few years back as well, the private insurers would keep dialysis out of the realm of insurance coverage. But now because of the worldwide standardization in insurance coverage and how the cherry picking is prevented by the IRDA and the government, the private insurers are getting into covering dialysis. Even the employers, the large employers, are questioning the insurers. Let's say if a Wipro or an Infosys ties up with an insurance company or a third party administrator, they are making sure that important treatments such as dialysis are covered in their health insurance program. So if you look at healthcare push by the government, if you look at push by the private insurers, if you look at push by the employers, everyone is doing quite a lot actually in the last few years. But the important part is the momentum needs to continue, and in the next 5 years, if the India can see a goal of reducing that 90% of people die, if you can reduce that to 30 or 40%, I think it's a very aggressive and challenging goal for all of us. So dialysis is a highly specialized treatment wherein you need specialized equipment. Most of the equipment today is imported from Germany or Japan and Italy and so on, as well as the clinical staff that are needed in dialysis are very specialized, who needs to be trained in cannulation, in clinical complications in dialysis. So that's where the hospitals sort of they are not, the dialysis is not a priority for them, because the margin in dialysis for a hospital is quite low or negative actually. So hospitals bleed money when doing dialysis. That's why they look to specialty players like us. For example, this particular hospital is it's called Surbi Hospital in Noida, which was earlier running a dialysis unit on on its own, but it doesn't work because you need a certain scale to employ the right certified technicians. You need a certain scale to invest on the clinical protocols, on the equipment, state of the art equipment, and so on. And when a specialty player is running this network across the country, for example, NephroPlus today runs 78 centers across 53 cities in 15 states. The scale of being the largest player in the country gives us a unique cost structure advantage, be it the sourcing of equipment, be it the sourcing of consumables, be it our training academies churning out clinical talent whom we can employ at an affordable cost. So all these cost structure elements and the quality improvements that a focused player can bring in, these are the reasons why specialized players like NephroPlus can redefine dialysis care, wherein the entire country is going through that shift. The shift has just started 5 years back, and you will see this shift over the next 5 to 10 years, wherein the majority of the dialysis units in the country will be run by specialized players. So NephroPlus is already India's largest dialysis network. We currently run, as I said, 78 clinics across 53 cities. We started about 6 years back, and the interesting thing is it's co-founded by a dialysis patient himself called Kamal Shah. And Kamal Shah today, he's a 40-year-old gentleman, and for the last 20 years he has been on dialysis. So we understand what the patients go through, their needs, wants, pain points, wishes, much better than anybody else. So that has helped us in creating a unique set of quality protocols to prevent cross infections, as well as service level improvements. For example, every dialysis bed at NephroPlus comes with a television attached to it. The reason being, it's not a one-time procedure, it's a 4 hours procedure the patients need to do every other day. So when a patient comes to NephroPlus, they are called guests in the NephroPlus ecosystem. The guest can see TV for a couple of hours, the guest can sleep for a couple of hours, talk to the clinical staff, they can go home, and they are so actively encouraged to lead a normal life. Their birthdays are celebrated here, they are actively encouraged to travel across the country. The beauty is the network effect. If a Delhi patient wants to travel to Bangalore or Mumbai or Dehradun or Varanasi for pilgrimage or Tirupati for pilgrimage, there is a NephroPlus center for them. So all they have to do is, I need to go to Varanasi next Tuesday, I need a dialysis slot there, and the NephroPlus administrative staff takes care of the entire booking. So we have created sort of a focused, guest-centric, patient-centric care ecosystem, and that has really helped us expand significantly. And we are funded by World Bank. 2 years back, we raised 60 crores from World Bank and Bessemer Venture Partners. And just last month, we raised 100 crores from Ceiling Capital Partners and World Bank. So we continue to grow aggressively across the country, and we want to continue to partner with the government in selective states to drive the quality of care in these states as well. Absolutely. So the important thing about NephroPlus clinically is we are paranoid about cross infections in dialysis. To give you an idea, 30% of the patients in India, once they get dialysis for 2 years in the overall market, there is a 30% chance that they will be infected with hepatitis C or hepatitis B or HIV infection. We believe at NephroPlus that someone with kidney disease coming to you for treatment and then we giving them liver disease is a crime. So that's the basis for our clinical protocols. We have patent pending product called Zero Infection Point Kit. We have a process called 56-step process, and we use a dialysis index to measure the overall quality of life of our guests. And these 3 things put together ensure our quality is absolutely world class. The second thing is we believe in leveraging technology in scaling up. For example, reverse osmosis plant in a dialysis unit is like the CPU of a computer, and all our reverse osmosis plants across the country, because the quality of water output determines the quality of dialysis, they're remotely monitored. Now what do we mean by remote monitoring? Each of these RO plant has a chip that transmits the hardness of water, TDS of the water, every few minutes to our server, and if the TDS of the water increases beyond a threshold, it sends an SMS alert and an email alert to our biomedical team, operations team, and quality team. All our machines across the country are networked to a central server. So if a patient is BP which is checked by automated NIBP modules, if that goes beyond preset threshold, it sends an SMS and a email alert to our quality team and clinical doctor team. So these are the technological investments and innovations that we have done. I'm just giving you a flavor of what we have done that help us scale across the country. I firmly believe that without technology you cannot scale. You can run pockets of centers of excellence, 1 or 2 centers where you are personally involved, but without technology there is no way you can scale. So we have very aggressive growth plans. When we started 6 years back, our goal was to reach 100 centers in 5 years. And now we are running 78 centers, another 20 of them are under construction in various phases. So we already we'll be 100 centers strong in couple of months. Now our vision has changed to having a network of 500 centers across the country in the next 5 years. And also we are very close to launching our centers overseas. So now the plan of NephroPlus is not only India, where we have made a huge impact and redefining quality of care. Now we want to make similar impact in other emerging economies. So we'll be entering an overseas market in the next 6 months, and the plan is to have overall presence in 5 new countries in the next 5 years. So overall, roughly about 300 centers in India and another 200 centers overseas, to making it a 500 center compelling network, one of the largest in the world network in the next 5 years. That's our growth plan.